To be honest, it will be up in the air whether we survive the summer without blackouts. Richard Harris worked in the energy sector of WA for decades, including working as a government advisor. He advocated for the state's domestic gas as of 2006 that has historically been the foundation of our economic development and our mining expansion, which functions as a catalyst for 15% of all gas ordered to arrive on the shore for household usage in eastern Australia. When sorted by praise for Protea WA as a gas-rich price paradise. Like the eastern states, the cost of energy in Australia is not going to ascend like something distant and comparable, but the sheen is beginning to wear out. Western Australian legislation is not ideal, and there is a need for the government to have a comprehensive view of the situation. In an Australian report from December, a market operator for energy cautioned that demand for gas might exceed demand. Now, a parliamentary investigation is looking at the policy for gas reservations, which is intended in order to protect homes and businesses having access to reasonably priced gas. The rules have typically been successful, especially if you observe what has occurred in the East Coast. They'd sacrifice their right arm, must have a well-defined policy. It may need some work. Operate as it ought to have. Richard Harris is one of Washington's largest gas consumers who are troubled by the policies is hidden in obscurity and is not being sufficiently enforced. He wants the government to conduct an investigation to determine how many main producers of gas are exporting abroad and see if it has an effect. Domestic, I believe the policy is effective. However, there is a lack of compliance and in other terms, the policy is actively pursued by goodwill without any onerous restrictions during a pivotal moment. A microscope. The state legislature established a 2022 coal-fired power plants, as well as generators powered by gas, will need to fuel the gap, although thus far, the change in fossil fuels has been very little. Smooth state-owned energy companies Synergy had to buy coal from outside because New South Wales will maintain lighting because the state government has not budgeted for it. You are aware that we paid Global for that money. You could figure it out. But certainly, the particulars of such an agreement are between Synergy and Yanco, and thus it's a business problem. Therefore I can't. Should taxpayers not be informed? The whole price is, in fact, included in the ANA Synergy report. According to the annual report, Synergy made more than $700 million lost financially, owing to difficult contracts. However, the amount of the expense is unclear. From a coal emergency, we've seen the absurd predicament of the state's desperate administration, which imports 1 million tons of coal from New South Wales to the heartland of the coal industry of Cali, which likely cost $100 million plus. The state administration asserts a swift transition to renewable energy by 2030. We anticipate achieving our stated goal of 82% renewable energy by 2030. We have now reached 1/3 of what there are initiatives in the works that enable us to reach the 82%. Western Australia's governor through our batteries are being built at Synergy in Cali, Kwinana, and I am constructing several brand new wind farms. Describe the wind farms that, however, have, due to the fact that they remain in final contract discussions, but a number of wind farm projects are underway and Synergy is in Western Australia. Construction, followed by the private sector. There is seldom a day without another. A private sector operator approached me about their solar and wind farm. Detractors assert that the 2030 deadline for renewable energy to meet the difference is becoming more and more obvious. Reach considering the volume of infrastructure that needs to be constructed. Currently, only Washington state lacks renewable energy. By 2030, no renewable energy will be used. Aim towards zero emissions. We are aiming for literally a condition of ignorance when it reaches 20 where it's headed. Brad Pitt, a Greens MP, argues that the cause of this is due to the state's underinvestment in renewable energy. Why is at actual risk because of its location? I'm leaving immediately since we're not doing a little bit of coal, and renewable energy still has to shut down, so they'll do it then instead of actually doing this inexpensive switch to a cheaper. Will invest more in renewable energy. Costly gas with more emissions. Debre will use it as his energy. The future, which is on several levels, is stupid. If you love the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.